Hello friends, how are you? I hope you've been okay, you've been safe and sound. That's great. So let's start today's topic as I receive uh, every day, of course. Many of the students wants me to share videos about how to learn a language, though I'm uploading videos about English grammar, but along with that, I'd like to share with you uh, tips, techniques that how to improve your speaking skill, how to improve your communication. And in this video, once again, I'd like to share with you different ways. Here I have written ways to say how are you. This is of course one of the conversational lecture, okay? Conversation. What really a conversation is speaking between two persons purposely, not without any purpose. Whenever two persons are speaking to each other, they're talking specifically about something, then we call it conversation. This lecture also belongs to conversation, okay? So ways to say how are you? Every time I see people around me while they meet to each other, facing each other, what they would say after hello, they would say, how are you? How are you, Ali? How are you? How is he? How was that guy? How, everywhere, how are you? But this sounds not much more good naturally. If you go abroad any other country, to the country whose native language might be English, they would be using different ways, not only how are you, and you will get confused what that person is saying to you. If he tells you any other way instead of how are you, you would say, what? Pardon? Of course you don't have any idea about different ways that we have and could be used. So in this lecture, I am here to explain 13 ways, okay? 13 ways to express your idea about how are you. So the first one, which is common, okay? How are you? I'd also like to tell you about their fast pronunciation while like native speaker speaks, okay? They would say, how are you? We say, how are you? These all I've written here, okay? 13, they have the same meaning as how are you. But native speaker would contract how are you as how are ya? How are ya, okay? How are without are, okay? How are and you becomes ya. How are ya? How are ya? How are ya? Don't get confused if you hear how are ya. It means how are you. The second way I have, how is it going? How is it going? Native speaker will pronounce this as how is it going? How is it going? They will contract how is as house. Here it is it, okay? But more naturally we would say it. We have a glottal stop, eating the true not completely, okay? I'll be talking to you while we just move to the pronunciation techniques. We would talk about T. T have 4 sounds, okay? Real T or true T, flap T, vanishing T, glottal T, different types of T sounds we have, okay? How's it going, okay? G is always silent, an ing, verb, anything, noun, whatever you are having with ing. G is silent, okay? Like going. walking, seeing, watching. Okay, G is always silent, but don't forget to write. Every time you should write. What's up? What's up? This is already in contracted form. Okay, what's up is the contracted form of what is up. What is up? It means how are you? What are you up to? What are you up to? They all have the same meaning, okay? But you could use either of them. What are you? What are you? It becomes while you speak, okay? What are you? This is completely dropped. What are you? This becomes you, always becomes ya, okay? What are you up to? What are you up to? The fifth one I have written, what have you been up to? If I contract them, bring them together to sound much more like a native one, I would probably say, what have you been up to? What have you been up to? What have you been up to? Look at here. What have becomes okay, what of. I'll be talking to you about contractions as well. What of you? What have you been up to? What have you been up to? This is been, okay? Some people pronounce it like bean. Bean is this, okay? Bean is a meal, okay? Food, kind of food. Probably being eaten in Asian countries a lot. What have you been up to, okay? The sixth one I have written here, what's going on? This is already in contracted form of what is. What's going, G is silent, on. What's going on? What's going on, okay? Try here, I've written, okay? A question mark at the end of all these, because these are questions you could ask anyone. The next one I have written, how you been? How you been? If you think according to grammar, this is not correct, okay? It becomes how have you been? But in spoken form, don't care about grammar. Make mistakes as much as you can. Just understand the other person, okay? Don't care about grammar. If you care about grammar, probably you will be speaking not as much clear as you can and as much faster as you should. It becomes how you been? How you, okay? How you been? What's new? What's new? What is new? What's new? This is new, okay? New. What's new? Okay, here I have written 8 ways. The 9th one, okay, is here. Is everything good? Probably you would hear while native speakers speaking, is everything good? Is everything good? Is everything good? Is everything good? Try to speak, okay? Repeat with yourself after I speak. How are you feeling? It becomes how are, okay? How are you feeling? G is silent. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? How are you doing? It becomes how are you, okay? Like this. How are you doing? G is silent. How are you doing? How are you doing? The same meaning. They all have the same meaning, okay, as how are you. That's why I have written ways to say how are you. Different ways, but having the same meaning. You could use either of them. If you try your best to memorize them and then practically use them in your daily life, of course, you will have an interesting conversation. People will like you. People will try to be by your side because you are a good speaker like the native one. If you use them, then there is nothing different, okay, between you and the native one, okay? Because you have pronunciation many good ways in common. They also have, you also have. Then there might not be anything different between you and that. The 11th one, okay? Sorry, the 12th one. How are you holding up? How are you becomes how are you, okay? To this place. How are you? This G is silent. How are you holding up? How are you holding up? How are you holding up? I hope you got it. The last one, okay? What have you been working on? This becomes what of. This becomes yeah. This is Ben, G is silent. What have you been working on? What have you been working on? What have you been working on? I hope you got it. Then try to pronounce as I do, okay? Try. Move your mouth as I do and try yourself. Have a mirror, okay? Try to have a mirror, talk to the mirror. Then record your voice. Then compare that voice to my voice or to any other native speaker voice. Then see what the difference is and try on that difference to have everything in common. Okay, thank you very much. This was conversational first lecture. I'll see you in the next coming video. Bye for now.